Jan zero bonzo kanya asayal man dunia ngone na Bosombe na moshaba zasi masia ya danambo Kapalam la wenshanga jambo Kapalam la wenshanga jambo Bosombe na moshaba zasi masia ya danambo Kale palam la wenshanga jambo ne Sazala zale Kanya ngombe Sazala zale Sazala zale Sazala zale Sazala zale Kapala jana mabuni juga piani Zumo dang tuba Kapala jana mabuni juga Mabia dang tuba Kapala jana mabuni juga piani Zumo dang tuba Kapala jana mabuni juga Dang tuba Kapala jana mabuni juga Tuba, kapala jana, sazala zale, sazala zale, sazala zale, sazala zale.
Hello, good evening, family. It's such a pleasure to come your way once again. My name is Nana Higgin, and just like we do all the time on the Inside View, we share the success stories of people who have done extremely well, and also we highlight health, issues, and also we talk about things that we hardly talk about in our society. And today I have a great woman who has really, achieved a lot for herself. She's going to talk about her life, her foundation, and also what led her, to become what she's become today. And she's changed a lot of lives, especially young girls. And on this program tonight, we are highlighting or spotlighting the heroes and also the heroines in the northern part of Ghana. And tonight we are in Tamale, and we are so blessed to have Hajia Mariam Iddrisu Bugala. Hajia, welcome to the Inside View.
Thank you very much, Nana. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. We are so privileged, honestly, to have you, because looking at your busy, schedules, and for you to squeeze time to share your life, your achievements, and also your foundation. We say thank you. And tonight you're in the UK, and we are also in Tamale. So,
Yes, yes.
crisscross. Yeah. Hajia, I don't want to read your profile. I mean, just in case I leave the salient points out of it. So, we just want to hear from your own mouth who Hajia Iddrisu Bugala is. If you could please do us, the honors by telling us who you
Okay. Thank you very much, Nana, and to all our viewers who are privileged enough to catch us live this evening. Nana, first of all, I want to really, really appreciate Dimbien Media Consult, led by our sister, our very own sister, Dimbien Joyce Ali. I hope I got her name right.
Sure.
For putting us in this spotlight. Because for me, I believe it is as a result of what she did for women from Northern Ghana, recognizing the efforts of women and the impact women make in society, especially in our part of the country. For the first time in Northern region, I have seen an organization truly recognizing the efforts of women, like I've indicated, without putting them through a voting process. So this was a through recognition of the fact that no matter what little things you do in society, people see and people recognize. So first of all, before I introduce myself, I really, really want to thank her once more and once again for recognizing us as change makers in our little and small ways. Now, my name as introduced is Mariam Iddrisu Bugala. Bugala is my family name. I am a 42-year-old, and I am the seventh born of 14 children of my father, and then the third of my mother. This just clearly tells you that I am from a polygamous home.
Sure.
But I grew up with my paternal grandmom, who is late. May her soul rest well with our Maker. I started my education at Sakasaka Primary and Junior High School, and proceeded to, I won't say one of the famous senior high school, then senior secondary school in Northern region. That is Ghana Senior High School. Ghana School for short. I left Ghana School in 1999 and proceeded to Tamale Polytechnic, now Tamale Technical University, where I graduated with a higher national diploma in 2003. I got married afterwards and started having kids. And then the desire to achieve academic or greater heights in the academic field, I didn't end it, despite the fact that I got married. I went further to do my first degree at the University of Cape Coast, and later went for my master's degree at University for Development Studies in Community Health and Development. Well, I'll veer through from my education to my working life. I think all my life I had worked with the Ghana Health Service, first as an executive officer and then later as an administrative manager. Then after my master's degree, I was the district public health nurse, the public health officer for North Gonja district. And that is roughly from 2005 to 2017, precisely May 2017. I left Ghana Health Service. and I was honored by the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and was appointed the first female district chief executive of Sagnargo district in May 2017. I think this is what I didn't tell you about myself, and I think it will come as a surprise, but to my friends and followers on Facebook, it's not a surprise to them. So in 2017, May, I was appointed the first female district chief executive, globally known as the mayor, in fact, the mayor of Sagnargo district. 2 years down the lane, my district was elevated into a municipality status, where automatically I became a municipal chief executive from 2019 through to 2020. In fact, my tenure of office as municipal chief executive ended in October 2020. But whilst in office, I founded the organization with like-minded individuals, Girls to Women Foundation. And so whilst I exited office, I joined the organization as the executive director. And currently, that is what I do as a profession or a career. And Girls to Women Foundation, I don't know if I should proceed or I should halt it for now.
Yes. You know what? I'm so amazed because I'm so amazed. I think I missed that one.
You did.
I'm just taken aback by. Oof. Girl, you've done well. I'm tonight, interviewing a whole MP, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I am so proud of you because.
Thank you.
And please, before we proceed, I would just please urge anyone online watching us to please share this interview. Tonight, we want our young girls, because we are going to touch from the childhood to that young woman. So we want every mother or every family to please come online and let us learn from Hajia Mariam Iddrisu Bugala. And, with his wealth of knowledge, I hope we will all be enlightened. Hajia, we as women, we are always shouting from the rooftop, always fighting for our rights. It's as if we don't even have the right to exist. We are always shouting from the rooftop, wanting to make our existence valid. As to why, I don't know. Having been an advocate and also having worked, in the rural areas, and also in the city, and also with the corporate experience that you have, what do you think is the root cause of gender, issues? But before that, I just want to know the kind of environment or the family that you grew up in that has really shaped the kind of person that you are today. Because I think, it will be a disservice to anyone watching us without knowing, your background. Yeah, please.
Yes, like I indicated earlier, I come from a polygamous home.
Okay.
And I am the first daughter of my mom. And so, being the first daughter of my mom, automatically I was given to my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, to raise. Though,
is it a cultural thing?
It's somehow cultural, and I can also say it's a family decision.
decision. Okay.
because my grandmother, in fact, my grandmother was my father's auntie.
Mhm.
So she didn't give birth. And at the time, she was alone. So my father gave me out for for her, you
Sure.
know,
Sure.
to
Understand.
nurture.
It's a nature. Yeah.
So it came to a time we were like three girls with her. Sometimes the others will go, then I'll stay with her. She was a trader. She was a trader who traded vegetables, perishable vegetables, and then sometimes other. She was just an all-rounded businesswoman. So I used to trade with her. I used to sell after school and sometimes even before school. So in the morning, I will sell like the beverages that people can take like for breakfast
Yeah. Yeah.
before leaving for their work and then kids for their school. So from the morning sales, I come, I prepare myself, I go to school, and then after school, I meet her in the market and then I sell the vegetables. So for me, I believe as a child, I thought she didn't like me, honestly, because um you come back from school and you have to walk for a long distance to the market to sell, come back again, do house chores, get some little sleep, wake up in the morning, sell again before you leave for school. So I was always late for school, though I was determined to get myself educated. It never stopped me. So this I'll call it is multitasking, position me well to fit in any sort of environment and to face any challenge that life put across or life put in my path. But before, I thought it was just a punishment. It's not every child in this day and age that can combine what I have just gone through when I was a child. So for me, I wouldn't even want my child to go through that because I would say, Alhamdulillah, everything is at their disposal.
Yeah.
But for us, if I had not supported my grandmother, probably we wouldn't get food on the table.
I think
So times
sometimes.
have changed.
Yeah. Yeah. Times have changed.
So times have changed, and most parents nowadays wouldn't want to subject their children through that system of childhood. But for me, it has shaped me and it has modeled me to become a strong and resilient woman.
Fantastic. I think we still need this kind of training because just like you said, you've been able to achieve. I mean, what you've achieved in today as a result of what you went through. Fine, you could have actually maybe gone the other way, but you were so resilient and also adamant to get to your goal. And so some part of you is so, I mean, it's so strong, it's so tough. Um, you are able to, see every good, out of anywhere situation that you find yourself. So to me, I think this generation are blessed, but at the same time, I'll say they are overpampered. So sometimes that sense of entitlement is really, I'll say, affecting. Most of them is really affecting most of them.
To some extent,
To some extent, yeah.
I wouldn't feel they are overpampered, because like I said, if you can provide the basic necessities or the needs of your children. Okay, why subject them through this kind of life? So sometimes you just ask yourself, and the society too. Society will not allow you, even if you want to train your children that way,
Sure.
because they know you. I saw Hajia Mariam's daughter selling tomatoes in the market. What is the problem? Is everything okay with them? I don't know whether you are getting me.
Yeah, I do. I do.
You know,
Yeah.
So it's like if you have everything at your disposal, though we don't have it all, but Alhamdulillah, we can afford 3 square meal. We can afford to pay the fees and other things that comes along with raising a child. So you feel it's unnecessary to subject the child through that.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
so whilst a child selling in the morning, sometimes you go to somebody's room to collect money, and probably the person will make an attempt to rape or something. So you feel that you'll be putting the lives of your kids at risk if you subject them to selling, even if it is some kind of training you want to give them to know that in life there comes difficulties, and when it comes your way, you must find a way to navigate and maneuver to be successful. But this kind of training is, though it's still there, but it is, I think it comes from low economic families.
Yeah,
Do
sure.
you understand?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes these are some of the reasons why we cannot insist on still subjecting our children through the same training or upbringing that we went through. I don't know if you get my
I
point
perfectly
of view.
understand. Yeah, I perfectly understand. I mean, now the world has greatly changed, so
Yeah.
we cannot, um, still live in the past anyway. You know, you are a gender advocate,
Yeah.
and also you've been working with women, I mean, for years, and currently you are the executive director for Girls to Women Foundation. I think earlier on, I was just saying that it looks as if it's a crime for women even to exist because we are always shouting, begging, negotiating for our rights. What is the root cause of these gender issues? What do you think is really the problem for this
So
gender?
for me, I agree with you with the statement that we have been shouting at the rector over the years. Only God knows for how long. I think since the first International Women's Conference that was held in Mexico City in 1975, 50 years down the lane. Ask yourself, like you have just asked me, why? Why are we still not where we have been advocating to be? And since that time, it's not as if there hasn't been conferences to continue the negotiation, the advocacy for the voices of women to be heard. But we still haven't gotten where we want to be. Currently, as it is, Nana, we have 25% representation of women globally.
Wow.
We are seeking for gender equality, and we have a target of achieving that gender equality. That is 50% for men, 50% for women. We have given ourselves, that's the UN, the SDG goal 5, SDG has given the world a target by 2030 to achieve gender equality. So if it has taken us 50 years from the very first time we had an international women's conference to give voices to women, to give representation and give seats to women, 50 years down the lane and we haven't gotten there, do you think we will be able to get there in the next 7 years? Bear with me that we are left with 7 years to reaching the target of gender equality in 2030. So for me, the root cause is the deeply rooted traditional and religious beliefs, the stereotypes that comes or places women at a disadvantage. The fact that a woman plays a subordinate role to a husband or a wife, let me say a wife in this case, not even a woman, because it has been misinterpreted in our religious teachings. Both Christianity and Islam says wives should be submissive to their husbands. So men misinterpret it to mean that women should be submissive to men. So even if you are a woman and you find yourself in the midst of men, they expect you to be quiet. Just observe, listen, and walk away. At least in our traditional settings, you can insist for this to happen. But in this generation, though we haven't reached our target, but we have made strides. Women and girls, to some extent, now have voices to be able to fight for their rights in a way. But this does not reflect in our traditional and cultural settings. For example, you go to a chief palace, and I'm going to land on the fact that the tradition is the root cause of our problems. You go to a chief palace, there the chief and his sub-chief, sub and divisional chief and elders, over 20 to 30 to 50 surrounding him, helping him to take meaningful decisions that will inure to the benefit of their traditional council or their community. Nana, you wouldn't find a single woman seated in the palace. Meanwhile, we have magajias. We have magajias as part of our traditional leadership system. Every community is supposed to have a magajia. And the magajia is like the female or young women chief or female leader in the community. So at least if for nothing at all, that woman should be in the palace to represent the voices of other women in the palace, so that decisions concerning women would be carried from the palace to women, and from the women, concerns from the women to the palace. You would only see a woman in the palace when there's the magaja in the palace, when there's an issue concerning women or girls, then she's invited to make an input. In some cases, they find themselves there and they are even afraid to speak because of the orientation they have. When men talk, do not talk. So until we are able to deal with these social cultural issues and stereotypes, for me, somehow I would agree with the recent World Economic Forum's assertion that we can only achieve gender equality in 101 years to come.
Did you say 100?
Hello, Nana.
That that would take that would take forever. So it means
yes, they say it will take. They say it will take us. It will take the world 131 years to achieve gender equality, and 161 years to achieve political parity.
Wow.
Only God knows the gender index they use to make these conclusions. But like I said, somehow, if you follow the pattern of our representation from local to regional to national and global levels, you are tempted to believe that indeed, if care is not taken, if you don't take pragmatic and practical solutions right from our traditional councils through to our homes, then schools, communities, then indeed it is not going to be easy. We are seeing these achievements around the world globally, because especially in African countries, because most of them have taken affirmative actions. So as a result of that, they have started increasing the number of women representation. And let me just bring a point of note. They use the number of parliamentarians as an indicator in every country to measure our progress of representation in decision-making spaces, mostly. And so when you see few countries making strides now, currently, these days, you hear of Rwanda, you hear of Sierra Leone, you hear of South Africa, and many others. They have achieved that as a result of affirmative action. But somebody once said, if we are left alone to work our way, then indeed it will take us the 131 years to achieve gender equality.
Great. So, this sounds like a mission impossible.
It is possible.
It is possible, but in terms of the years to come, 100 years. So, now my question is, how do we empower girls? Because you are for the girl child, through to the adolescent, and then through to the young woman that they become eventually. So for me, how do we empower girls in childhood? Because this is a collective mission. So how do we consciously, as parents, empower the girl child? Because it looks like that's where the problem actually stems from. From the age of 5, 6, if they are not, even if they don't know themselves, it carries through. So how do we empower the girl child?
Nana, I think it will start from our homes, parenting. From where I come from, there are certain taboos, and that is why I earlier on indicated that it's the orientation that we have. We have grown up with it. So this, our current generation, it behoves on us to make that difference in the upbringing of our children. You give them equal space, equal rights, and equal chores to run in the home. Then they grow up with it. You go to an indigenous home, you see the girl is responsible for every chores in the house. She will set fire to set water for everybody to bath in the house. She will sweep the house. She'll prepare porridge. Sometimes she even goes for firewood after classes. And then you ask yourself what the boy is doing. Not only even in the indigenous and traditional homes, even in peri-urban homes, in peri-urban areas, you still find some of these things happening. And sometimes unconsciously, women or parents also put the girl child in a vulnerable position. For example, as a mother, I go to town and then I want to get things for the kids. I get a football for my boy child, and then I get a teddy bear, okay, or a toy for my girl child. So either a football or a gun. Then the boy uses the football to learn a skill. But the toy you have given to the girl or the teddy bear you have given to the girl clearly tells her that for her, she's vulnerable. That's an unconscious act we as parents sometimes do. Aside that, like I indicated, we should give them equal house chores so that they grow up with it and they get to know that the kitchen is not only for women or girls to be in. Both boys and girls can be in the kitchen. So when he grows up with it and gets to settle down with a woman who has ambition to progress in life, then that boy or that young man now will support the wife when she's not around. At least he can prepare food for the family to eat. After all, it's your family. But when you grow from a typical indigenous traditional home, such men squashes the dreams of many women because he is bossy. He wouldn't assist in any way. Even if he would not discourage you from progressing academically or from achieving greater heights, but he will put you at a position where you are limited to exploring your full potentials.
Sure.
So for me, is the upbringing. We need to be conscious about this. And that is why, again, as one of the things I do, I have mounted a TV program. We call it The Feminine Story, where we host women, successful women from northern Ghana to share their life-changing stories through to success in our local language. And in doing so, we are reaching out to so many viewers, and we are changing their mindset about how to bring up the girl child and the boy child right from our homes. So the moment a girl child grows up with a certain mindset, then she alone does not challenge herself enough to position herself for certain roles. And that is why you see that, Nana, in Northern region, we have 18 constituencies, yet we cannot boast of a single woman as a member of parliament in Northern region. So it's a big challenge. And we need to start from our homes. From our homes, like I said, to our schools. You go to a school and the teacher thinks the girl child is responsible for sweeping the classroom. So the other classmates will wait for the girls to sweep the classroom for them to settle in the class. What are you teaching them? Over there again, she's picked that from the home and she's come to pick that from the school as well.
Yeah.
So we need concerted efforts to be able to minimize it and then eventually stop it.
Yeah. I mean, this has been, in a way, ingrained in, most women, especially, like I wouldn't say in the rural areas, but even in these, it's become, part and parcel of us. We even do it without not even seeing anything wrong with it. So, my next question is, while education is key to creating opportunities and economic empowerment for young women, but in cultures where women's options are often limited, how do we change the mindsets and empower young women and also girls? Because I think we need that kind of paradigm shift, that mindset. So how are we going to do it, especially in the typical rural areas who are so entrenched in the traditional settings? I mean, who still think that a woman's place, should always be in the kitchen, nothing beyond that. How have you been able, been able to change, or how do we change the mindsets of the situation that we find ourselves in? How do we
In
change
fact,
the
in
mindset?
fact, I lost you.
Oh, but did you hear, what I was saying earlier on? Did you
I
get a
think
bit
you
of it?
were asking a question in relation to educating the girl child, if I
Yes,
got you right.
no, yes. I said, while education is key to creating opportunities and economic empowerment for young women, but in cultures where women's options are often limited, how do we change the mindsets and empower young women and girls? And what I was just trying to say is, we do so without not even thinking any or seeing anything wrong with it, because we've come to believe, or like it's sort of ingrained in us, always seeing the boy as sort of superior over the girl child. So it starts even from the childhood. So in the typical rural setting where they are culturally, bound, how do we change the mindsets of these women, that can help raise intelligent girls? I mean, how do we?
In fact, our continuous advocacy and government policies are changing the narratives and even the statistics over the period. A lot of families would prioritize, or would have in the past prioritized, the education of their boy, the boy child over the girl child due to poverty. So if I have limited resources and I have, let's say, 5 children, 3 boys, 2 girls, I'll sacrifice the education of the girls for the boys, with the mindset that in future the boys will become men and will become husbands and will have to take care of wives and children. But the girl child will in future be married to a man, and the man will be taking care, in quotes. That's the expectation of every parent, that when the daughter is gone into marriage, the man will take care of her. So why waste my resources on a girl child? But like I said, for the introduction of free universal education in Ghana, in fact, though we haven't achieved universal yet, but we have made progress over the years. We have achieved gender parity in our educational systems as it is now. So with regards to education, it is not as a result of poverty or lack of resource or resource constraints that prevents or denies the girl child from accessing education now, but rather other factors such as menstruation. And when I mention menstruation, it takes me to what we do as an organization called Empower to Menstruate. You know, most of our girls in the rural areas have little or no knowledge, absolutely no knowledge about menstruation before the onset of their first menstrual period. And so some of them see menstruation as a disease. Meanwhile, menstruation is just a normal biological process in a girl's life. And as a result of that, we have some of our rural girls absenting themselves from school and some dropping out of school. So in a bid to address this, we as an organization had instituted what we call Empower to Lead, so that we can educate the girls on what we call menstrual hygiene management educational guide, which we have adapted from United or Wash United. So we do this among girls of 9 to 17 years old. It's assumed that at least from age 9, a girl may have her menarche. And then most from age 17, she should have her menarche. So before she gets the menarche, she should have a comprehensive knowledge on how to manage her menstruation, how to manage her menstruation hygienically, safely, and with confidence, because it really affects the confidence level of the girl child. And that is why it results to some of them dropping out and others absenting from school. Research has even indicated that it affects their academic performance because they lack confidence to manage it. And so I believe that if organizations come together, or every organization should have something like menstrual hygiene management education in our schools, because a lot of them do not get it in their homes. Even the mother does not know how to manage it well. So how does she educate her girl child? She's ignorant of it.
Sure.
For what we do, currently we are only managing up to 36 schools, 3 schools in each district of 8 operational districts, which is woefully inadequate, Nana.
Yeah, yes, woefully inadequate.
So it's inadequate. Another aspect of it is that you have equipped the girls with the requisite knowledge, with the right information on how to manage her menstruation. How does she get the products to manage it? Though she has the knowledge and can manage it well, but the menstrual products aspect of it can also deny her from going to school. There's a UNESCO report that indicated that 1 out of every 10 girls absent from school or drop out of school. So let's ask ourselves, if we have this number still in Africa,
wow,
won't it affect the economic empowerment of a woman, as you have indicated? because education is directly related to a woman becoming economically independent.
Independent, yeah, sure.
You know, though education sometimes is not the only way to go. So if a child could not access education as a result of certain factors beyond her control or that of her family, then we should find a way of engaging them in other skills so that she can learn a skill just to be economically independent and economically empowered.
Great. You know, tonight, viewers out there, we are spotlighting Hajia, who has done extremely well. So we just want to celebrate her. And in doing so, we are highlighting what she's done over the years, the girls that she has empowered, the girls that, you know, she has enlightened, you know, with her life, with her actions and everything. So tonight's interview is all about just throwing light, celebrating her, and anything that would just throw light on who Hajia Mariam Iddrisu Bugala, sorry, yes. So we are just celebrating, you know, these change makers who are quietly and boldly changing the narrative in the northern part of Ghana. So please let us support our dear, you know, Hajia. Let us share this interview. Let us, you know, make her feel proud because she's literally laid down her life, put her life in danger, always trying to empower women in an environment where I would say there's little or not much knowledge as to who a woman is. And even if they know, because of the traditional and also the cultural settings, it really limits a lot of women. And so to have brave women, yeah, because I think I've come across Hajia Halima, I've come across Hajia Lamnatu, and then today I have Hajia Iddrisu, and to see amazing things that these women are doing. I mean, I say, you know, kudos and also much respect to what you women are doing in the northern part of Ghana. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate you so much. So please continue to share this interview. Continue to share this interview. And also, if you are here and you can support Girls to Foundation.
Girls to Women.
Yes. With sanitary pads. I think it will go a long way to support our young girls in the rural areas. So
absolutely.
if anybody watching can support Girls to Women Foundation with anything that can support our young girls, please, you can contact
me.
That
will be much appreciated.
Yes, you can contact Hajia Mariam Iddrisu on Facebook. I think when you go to Girls to Women Foundation, yes, they are on Facebook. They've got their own contact details, and trust me, when you call, I think they have a whole team that works with Hajia, and yes, they'll be willing to just maybe answer your call, and also if there's anything that you can support them with, I think it will go a long way to help. Let us support our young girls. Let us support our young girls because they are the next, you know, generation, and then they are also our future. You know, Hajia, you made mention of the sanitary pads, and I think there was something in, you know, Parliament where, you know, you had to literally call ban, you know, like on taxes on sanitary pad, and this is a notable achievement, you know, just to make things easier for our young girls. And so say thank you for standing in the gap for these young girls and also making sure that sanitary pads become a basic
affordable
thing that affordable. I mean, for
Mm,
every young girl to be able to, have it without
mm.
missing school. So we say thank you for representing us, yes, in the parliament. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Now the question is, when you are busy advocating for women and for young
Mm,
girls, most of them don't even take it serious.
mm,
I've had opportunity to mentor a few girls, and their attitude,
mm,
their mindset, their their body language, yeah,
mm,
shows that one is either maybe they don't even understand who they are, they
mm,
don't even understand their identity and also their purpose in life.
mm.
So, how do we bring these girls who, even when opportunities are thrown at them, do not even take them seriously? And then
Mm,
eventually they become a problem. You know what I mean? How do
mhm.
we make this work? Because sometimes, we have a lot of people who are willing to support these girls. But
Exactly.
like it looks like, this generation, I'm not saying all of them, but majority of them just want quick life. They want easy life. They don't want to learn any skill, learn any trade. They don't want to study. Most of them just want to be handed, over with, easy money, whatever, that you
Mm,
call it. Most of them are not, I'll say, not prepared for life.
mm.
How do you conscientize these young girls for them to become the kind of women that you would want them to be in future? How do you do it?
Nana, it's sad. I far away in UK, and you can clearly recognize what we are going through in Ghana and in northern region. You know, I've also equally had opportunities to mentor some young girls through the Sweden Mentorship Academy. And sometimes you would start with, I think I've been on it for 2 years, two conservative, from I think 2022 and 2023. You would start with 5 or 6 girls and end up with 2 girls. Something that
We sincerely apologize for the break in network, and I know Hajia will be, reconnected very soon. Yeah. Um, we are talking about Hajia's life, um, her achievements, and also
I
the
think I lost you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's the
Mhm.
network. Yeah, so you can come back here.
Yes. So what I was trying to say is that look, back in our days, we didn't get this opportunity.
No, not at all.
I didn't have a mentor. In fact, nobody mentored me. Even those days, we didn't have women we could just look up to and aspire to be like them. We used to see
Hajia.
yes,
Okay, sure. Yeah. So
yes. So we used to, like I said, we used to see some of these role models on the national TV,
sure. Yeah.
like the newscasters, you know, a communal TV that they put in your area for people to watch. You see the woman nicely dressed and then reading news. I don't know if the network is from your end.
I don't know, but I can hear you clearly.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So it's like you have said, it's like they are not ambitious enough. And this will take us back to your initial statement that they are overpampered, or they think it's a right.
Yeah, that sense of entitlement.
To get things easily. It's just a sense of entitlement. So it saddens me when I come across some of such young ladies as mentees.
We're having issues with our network, but we are trying as much as possible to make sure this interview ends successfully. Yeah, so please bear with us and stay tuned. Please don't leave us. Hajia, yeah. Oh, hi. Yeah, we have Hajia back, and we sincerely thank each and everyone that has stayed until now. Yes, thank you so much for your patience. And well, let's Hajia take over. Hajia, yeah. And please, you are muted. You are muted, Hajia. You've muted yourself. You've muted yourself. You've muted yourself, please. Your microphone is off. Yeah, your microphone is muted.
Oh.
No, okay, yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you, Hajia. I can hear you, Hajia. I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So Nana, like I was saying, at Girls to Women Foundation, that is why we believe in catching them young, so that we nurture, we coach, we mentor, and then we groom them to become ambitious and empowered women. If you want to model a matured girl at this time, it becomes very difficult, because sometimes it depends on where she's coming from, her background. What kind of a home is she coming from? Is she coming from an ambitious family? Does she have a role model, an immediate role model in her family? Does her mother set as an example for her? You know, sometimes you ask yourself these questions and you make a conclusion and let them go. Though you make an effort, a mentorship is not forced. You can't force to mentor anybody. So if the person is not ready to be modeled, to be coached, to be mentored, it makes it so difficult. And there comes the the social media aspect of everything. Nowadays, a lot of our young girls spend much time on the social media. And more of what we see on social media is fake life. So if you want to model yourself using social media, I think you are doomed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the fake life is too much. And that is what our young girls are failing to understand. So sometimes they even feel like you are wasting their time. So in order not to invest your precious time on those who are not ready to learn, you rather invest it on the few who wants to learn, with the hope that when they see their colleagues improving over time, they would also sort of learn from them. So for me, I wish that we rechannel our energies and invest it on the young girls, right from the primary levels of education. We take them through identifying themselves, who they are, what they want to be, and what they can be. We teach them certain values of life, how to be yourself, to be authentic, and not to copy the life of another person on social media, how to be confident, to be able to fit yourself in everywhere or in every situation you find yourself, to be assertive, to be confident. These are some of the things we take our girls through. We call it Empower to Lead as an organization. It is a self-help initiative which we have sampled some schools, and we have a model, a complete model that we administer on the girls. So by the time she reaches a junior high school level, she's confident enough to even place herself for any leadership position. So for me, I want to encourage any advocates, any change maker. We are not letting them go, but we should start them young. And then we grow with them so that the work will be it will be easier for us than to leave them to become adults. Then we sort of try to remodel them to become better versions of themselves. I think it makes things difficult at that stage.
It does.
So even in one of my recommendations to Sweden, I said they should extend the academy to junior and senior high school girls, not only for the university graduates. At least it will help greatly if we include the young girls.
Great.
Right from the primary and junior high school level.
Yeah, you've done so much, and so we just want to show some of the pictures that, the things that you've been doing in Tamale. So I'll just ask my team to just, highlight a few things that.
Oh,
yeah.
This is one of our empowered to menstruate activities. We were marking the World Menstrual Hygiene Day in Nantong district.
Yeah, we have more that we want to go through, just for people to know the amazing work that.
So here annually, Nana, we mobilize local resources. We appeal for funds, we appeal for support from family and friends on annual basis. Usually we start in January through to May so that we can mobilize the sanitary parts to give out to the underprivileged girls in our rural communities. So like I mentioned earlier, you educate them, you empower them to manage their menstruation safely and hygienically, but they don't have the products.
Oh, okay.
So even the 2 parts we give to them for 2 months, what happens afterwards? But at least the consolation is that you have introduced her to the modern sanitary products away from the usual clean racks that they use. We have even termed it as clean racks. In some cases, they use any rag they come across. Rag in this context is old clothes that you nicely fold just to protect yourself. If you can't afford to buy the disposable sanitary pad, that is what they use until they are able. So sometimes when we introduce them to it, then we encourage them to demand for the monies from their parents or their guardians, or even if they help their mothers after school, they should be able to put down something small towards the purchase of a sanitary pad at the end of the month. Some of them are able to do it, and then others, after the 2 months, they go back to using their clean racks.
So do you know what? I'm just appealing to those of us in diaspora. We've seen the amazing work Hajia Mariam Iddrisu Bugala is doing to support our young girls. Sanitary pads, anything that you can support her foundation with, I think it will go a long way to help her foundation. Please let us be generous towards the foundations that we have back home. They are doing exceptionally well. Hajia, I've seen you gathering many traditional leaders, trying to educate them, trying to conscientize them. They need to involve women in their decision making. What are some of the challenges that you faced in trying to nurture girls into womanhood? What are some of the challenges that
In fact, the challenges mostly comes with resources, financial. When you try to model some of these girls, they tend to put their demands on you.
Okay.
For example, I need exercise books. Though education is free, sometimes the basic necessities of education, like uniform, school bags, in fact, decent sandals, you come across some of those cases and you can't help but do something about it. It sometimes takes away their self-esteem. So some of them will even absent themselves from school until she gets a decent uniform. So if you don't want such a girl, especially those that are bright, to stay at home, and you follow up, you make a follow up. So some of these challenges is what I earlier on highlighted. You follow up to the parent, because you can't take the responsibility of all the cases that comes to you.
Sure.
So some of them you follow up to the girl's parents, and you hear some of the comments like, I'll say it in Dagbani and then I'll come back. Kapami shukuru chende dan fani nyedine. Oku di kuto na ngom na tijene. What at all is the benefit of educating a girl child? You will educate the girl child and she'll end up in a man's house. When she ends up in the man's house and even works, most of the money she earns, she'll spend with her husband. Very little will come to you or nothing at all. So why will I waste my time and the little resource I have educating and providing the basic necessities for a girl child? Now you will have to explain. Educating a girl alone gives her power.
Yeah.
You know, it makes her independent. Would you want your girl child to be in marriage and come to you for money to support her home? You saw some of these challenges come in a bid to try to convince the parents to be responsible, to at least try to provide some of these basic necessities in order to prevent the girl from dropping out. Sometimes we do contact tracing. The moment we suspect that this girl faces such problems, you take note of her and then her address and everything, and then the contact number of the classroom teacher. And then occasionally you ask, you call. Just today, I called about three girls like that in Tolong district. I have just taken note of them. I know they are persevering, they are good, but if care is not taken, maybe they will not get enough family support to be able to continue. So some of those girls, we take note of them and support them in our own little way. But they are not the only ones. We have quite a number of such girls from underprivileged homes. And in some cases, you indeed follow, and you can clearly see that the parents cannot really support the child.
Wow.
If they are just peasant farmers and they farm during rain season, and after rain season, they virtually do nothing. And you want to insist on such a child or on such a parent to at least try to be giving daily stipend or chop money in order to keep the girl in school or to prevent her from a temptation of going to boys.
Yeah.
Then it's not just there. The parent, clearly you see it's not there. So you have to step in. So those are some of the challenges. And if you don't have a funding source for some of those things, they are only but your own initiatives to support the girl child to also achieve her full potential. So some of those things do come as challenges. And then we also have the victims of child marriage. One, she's not in school, she's a child, and she's in marriage, doing nothing. So she wakes up. If the husband doesn't give her anything, she can't do anything. She practically has to go to maybe a nearby chop bar. That's how we call it from the rural areas, to help them to get food to eat. So again, as an organization, we have a training facility where we identify victims of child marriage and teenage mothers. You can have 15-year-old girl with a child doing nothing. So we equip them in dressmaking and hairdressing skills so that at least when she graduates, she'll have something doing. Currently, we have graduated our first batch, but because we've not been able to give them the sewing machines or the startups, we've left them at our training center so that if she gets a piece of cloth in her area, she can come to the center and sew. We've made appeals, and I've had so far 5 sewing machines, but there are 10 of them, and I'm left with 5 sewing machines to add to the other 5 to give them so that I can pass them off and possibly enroll another set of girls from within and around our training facility, because if they come from far places, distance will also be another challenge. So all this that we do comes with a huge financial burden on the organization, but we are still pushing because consistency is key. You can't say because you don't have external or donor funds you want to stop. No, we are still trying our best to impact lives and to make changes in the lives of our girls and young women.
May God richly bless you for all that you're doing, because I don't know how you do this on a daily basis. So over to anyone watching us, if you can support the Girl to Women Foundation, either with sanitary pads, with sewing machines, anything that you can support Girls to Women Foundation, I think we will be so grateful. So you can still contact Girls to Women Foundation on Facebook. Hajia, which other platforms are you on?
We are on Twitter now, X, with the same name. We are on Instagram with the same name, Girls to Women Foundation.
Okay. So
we are even on TikTok with the same name.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you can also find us on www.girlstowomenfoundation.org.
Okay, great. So any every little helps. Anything that you can support them with, I think it will go a long way to help them. You've seen how Hajia has narrated the tallest of challenges. And we can all testify that it's not, fair.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. Anything that you can support this foundation with, I think they will be grateful. So
very.
Sanitary pads.
In fact, especially the sewing machines, before you can train them, you need the training materials, the scissors, the needles, the threads, the material to cut patterns and those things. And then the trainer, you have to give the trainer monthly allowance, So with all that, if we are unable to get external support, what it means is that we have to halt the training, yet we have the facility available for them. Because if those girls could afford training, they wouldn't be in their homes.
Sure.
About 6 out of the 10 girls have children, very young girls.
Wow.
Doing absolutely nothing. So we've trained them for 1.5 years now, and we've ended with the training. But like I indicated, they are still coming to the facility just to sew. Like somebody gives you a cloth from your area, you come and sew, and then you take something small. That is your money. But if you're able to get the machines, we pass them out. They can start doing something in their homes and start saving. Before you realize, she can even acquire her own shop or acquire an industrial machine. But what we have had so far is hand sewing machine, which is not bad. They can start with the hand sewing machine, and later save enough to be able to procure the industrial electronic ones.
Great. Hajia, before we leave you, or like you leave us,
Mm.
you made mention that I think you were the first MP.
Female MC.
Yes, okay, female MC.
That's a mayor.
Mayor. That's that is a huge achievement. And I think aside, apart from you, or aside you, we don't have any woman representing your district. How do we now involve women, and for that matter, young girls, in the decision making or decisions that really affects us, nationally, or should I say the important decisions that affects us, in Ghana? How do we engage? How do we involve our young girls? How do we make them feel confident enough to be able to partake in the national discussions? How do we make them? Because I'm thinking, just you being the first MC, I guess we might have a lot of women, but maybe they've not mastered the courage. So how do we empower our young girls and also our women?
Well, at the time, I was not the only female MC. We had about three female mayors out of 16 in Northern Region. We had three,
Still
but
small.
currently,
It's still small. Comparatively, so it's still
it is.
yeah.
It is a huge democratic deficit, But for me, I think it starts from our homes.
Okay.
If we institute something like family democracy, you sort of bring your family together for monthly meetings. Is it a nuclear family? Is it an extended family? On monthly basis, bring everybody around, the father, the mother, the children. Let them all share their views on the happenings in the family, what they are happy about, what they are not happy about, what is the way forward, what is mommy doing that is not making them happy, or what is daddy doing, what is my younger sister doing, what is my, how can we promote unity, love in the family?
Straight.
If we begin to institute something like this and give way or chance to each child to speak freely, it's the first step of grooming our young girls to be confident enough to express themselves wherever they find themselves. Now, outside the family, the girl goes to school. Teachers should also learn to engage children, both girls and boys, equally. If you have class perfection, I always say, even with leadership, we should catch them young. Class prefectship is a leadership role. Cupboard girl is a leadership role. Health, sanitation prefect are all leadership roles. So we should begin to involve our girls in those small leadership roles so that they build resiliency, they build confidence, they have the courage to to face future life challenges. Most women cannot withstand pressure. The little pressure that comes her way, oh, I cannot withstand it. So I will not even venture into it in the first place. But the moment you begin with them right from the basic level, you give them equal space to compete for senior professorship positions. Currently, the SP position is seen as the preserve for boys. So it behoves on teachers and Ghana Education Service stakeholders to change that status quo so that the girls can compete with the boys for the senior professorship position. From there to secondary school, from there to tertiary, where we have SRC, student representative councils, being occupied by male, which they are all male dominated. They are perceived to be for the males. You only see the young ones or the young women going in for women's commissioner or women's organizers or girls prefects. So from that side, you are not challenging girls enough to be competitive. And that is why, again, we as a foundation, we have another self-initiative we are implementing in the basic schools. We call it Empower to Lead, where we instill the interest of leadership in the girls so that we monitor them progressively up to when they enter the universities. Then after that, they can go in for assembly elections. That's the lowest level of leadership in Ghana. I think globally or internationally, they say the councillors.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are able to go in for assembly election, you can in future go in for a member of parliament.
Yeah,
and
sure.
that is progressive. Now, I mentioned the family level, the school level, and then the traditional level. Earlier on, I indicated that when you visit our palaces, you wouldn't find women there. So when we begin to ensure women's representation in the palaces, then at that level, they will appreciate the importance of women's voices in decision making. Then when a woman presents herself for an MPship position, those people will encourage their followers to vote for that woman to go to parliament. But when they don't appreciate their women at the local level, traditional council level, then it makes it difficult for them to appreciate women's leadership. Very recently, we had a forum where I made a suggestion. We had most of our traditional leaders around. I made this suggestion, and one of the chiefs, he came out to ask me that, what pa hankale kunye dene again, pa hankale nye dene ki yel netizan mo pai zone kole yel dene. What can a woman bring on board? What valuable contribution can a woman make?
Yeah.
And you are suggesting to us to involve them in our traditional systems. I was hurt, but I couldn't challenge him because he's a traditional ruler.
Wow.
And I told him that I'll come to the palace for us to further engage on that. We had a project in 4 communities, and it was very, very successful. Now, when you visit the Sanorugu Traditional Council, you see a woman there because it was a deliberate project. When you visit Kwene, with Pana Palace. You'll see the Magajia in their weekly meetings. Shishao, the same. Garjao, the same. So if we are able to implement some of these projects at the local level, we can change the narrative. We can change the status quo. It's not always about bringing like-minded people together for a workshop, and then you talk big, you bring beautiful ideas, and then you move. Let's bring it down to the local level. So these are some of the challenges that limit women's participation in decision making. Aside that, some of the women do not believe in themselves.
Yeah.
When we had that project, we started with the council members, then from there to the women, So you will hear some of the women asking us, do you think we can sit among the men and talk? How? How can we sit among the men and talk? Among our elders? Are you sure this is possible? Those were some of the questions the women were asking us. And then we assured them that, look, we got the commitment from the chief and his elders, okay, to involve you in decision-making process. Now, it's left for you to challenge yourself enough, to tell yourself that, oh, if I am worthy enough to sit amongst them, then I should be able to contribute meaningfully, so that they'll begin to appreciate and value arts. Because already they are saying that we have feeble mindset. We can make meaningful contributions to. That is their mindset. But it behoves on us to change that mindset. So there's a lot to do at the traditional and local level. And even women ourselves, there's the need for us to build their capacities and then to change their mindset. Okay, a woman presents herself for an assembly election, and her fellow women thinks that because of her house choices, she cannot be an assembly woman. So it's better for them to leave the woman and vote for a man. Because if a woman is in the kitchen and you have an emergency and comes, she cannot attend to you. So we need to deliberately program or bring on board some programs that will change women's mindset about leadership and women's mindset about seeing their fellow women in leadership roles and in leadership positions.
Great. Hajia, we cannot end, tonight's discussion without not showcasing your recent awards. You were awarded as a change maker, and that is so, so beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nominated and also awarded as a change maker.
Yes.
Thank you so, so, so much. Tonight, before you leave us, I just want to ask you this personal question. What kind of legacy do you want to leave?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see the world become a better place for women and girls. I want to see women and girls rule the world.
Great.
I want to see women and girls believing in themselves. I want to see women and girls or women pulling young girls along. That is mentoring young girls, coaching them to become better versions of themselves. I want to see a society where women's voices are respected and valued and appreciated. And before we can have this, we need to bring our men on board. We can't achieve this in isolation. We need the men as allies to push this agenda forward. So in our own small ways, this is what we are working towards to achieve before we are called.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want to tell your loved ones, your family, anyone that has stayed up to now? Is there anything that you want to tell them?
Oh, I want to thank them. I want to appreciate you. It's not easy for you to stay on for even a minute because these are our rest times and our rest periods. But you have been able to stay through for, I think, for over an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you so much. And I don't know if you appreciate the love I have for you. I
Oh,
love you guys so
thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
The
Thank you.
followings, the comments, the likes, the motivations. In fact, most of your comments motivates us a lot. When you feel like giving up at a point in time and you go to your page and read certain messages, you rise up again and then you continue to push. So keep on supporting our cause, and in any little way you think you can support society, not even supporting Girls to Women Foundation. If you support us, that is a plus. But in any little way you can support a girl in your area, in your neighborhood, in your compound house, please do it. And Allah, God Almighty, will reward you because you have been a change agent in some girl's life. So thank you so much for staying true. And thank you so, so much, Nana, for putting us on the spotlight. We appreciate you greatly. May God be with you and your family and stay blessed and healthy as well.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. And I just want to appeal to anyone out there. Please let us support Girls to Women Foundation in any form that we can. Anything, from sewing machines, from needles, from threads, from scissors, from
sanitary pads,
from sewing machines, from anything that we can support our foundation with. I think it will go a long way. Even clothes, shoes, anything that we can help these girls with, especially
books,
with books,
textbooks, yeah.
reading books, stationery, anything that we can support our young girls with, because we still see children going to school barefooted, and I think it's not right, especially in the 21st century. It's not right. So
No.
anything that we can support our girls with, so that they can go to school the 5 days in a week, and also they can have the right frame of mind also to study. And so before I leave, I just want to just leave you with these words. Empowering women is giving them decision-making power, a platform to share their ideas and create change, access to opportunities and resources, control over her own life, inside and outside of her home. And guess what? When a woman is empowered, the woman becomes hopeful. And guess what? When the mother is hopeful, automatically the child becomes hopeful. When the mother is confident, the child automatically becomes confident. When the mother is healthy, automatically the child becomes healthy. When the woman is also educated, they see the value in education. So they strive hard to make sure their children are equally educated. And the woman is safe. She also makes sure that her children, her family are also safe. So by also empowering our young girls, we should also teach them not to just focus on their looks, but on their inner qualities. And also, we should also research and reach out, to our great female leaders. Let our young girls read about these great female leaders so that, you know, they can model after them. Because it's so easy for girls to aspire. I can use myself as an example. Growing up, there was one medical doctor in my area, and for some reason, I always wanted to be like Dr. Jane. If she's still alive, you know, there was the way that this woman, you know, comported herself, and the fact that at that time, you know, it was so hard to see women as doctors. So growing up as a child, I always wanted to aspire high. I always wanted to be educated by just looking at that woman. And I saw the kind of respect that she commanded. So as a child, I always wanted to be like Dr. Jane. You know, I would just intentionally go to the hospital. You know, sometimes I would just fake that I was sick just to go and see her. Just go, you know, just to go and, you know, see how she did things, you know, as a medical doctor. And today, I don't want to talk about my achievements, but at least, yes, yeah. So let's, our young girls, seek after, you know, good or great, you know, female role models. And also, we should also teach our girls to stick up for themselves. And also, we should let our children be themselves. And now the question is, what happens when women are empowered? Go and think about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. And to anyone there that has stayed until now, thank you so much for your company. I love you so much. Thank you. And bye-bye.